First night inside a London jail. He was arrested yesterday at the Ecuadorian embassy, where he's been taking refuge since 2012. He's already been convicted for skipping bail, and now he's facing an extradition request from the United States. Chief Foreign Correspondent Philip Williams reports from London.
He'd long dreamt of leaving the embassy, but not like this. Yelling the UK must resist, Julian Assange was dragged from his diplomatic bolt hole. 7 years in close quarters had clearly taken its toll. The relationship with his hosts had soured. The Ecuadorians had had enough of their now unwelcome lodger.
La paciencia del Ecuador tiene su límite. Ustedes saben.
The patience of Ecuador has its limits. You know, we're tolerant and gentle, but we're not stupid. We have revoked the asylum of this spoiled, self-serving person.
Julian Assange's first view of life outside only lasted the duration of the journey to the Westminster Magistrates' Court. Behind the confident facade is a man who'd finally lost control of his future.
Julian Assange has always said he doesn't fear British justice. What he wants to avoid is extradition to the United States, where he says he could face decades in prison.
Inside, the judge was scathing, rejecting Assange's defence as laughable and declaring him a narcissist who cannot get beyond his own selfish interests. He was found guilty of skipping bail in 2012 to avoid extradition to Sweden over sexual assault allegations. Assange denied wrongdoing, and that case was later dropped. Outside the court, a group of loyal supporters continued the fight.
We're not terribly happy with the Australian government for leaving Julian abandoned for his own destiny.
I've just been with Mr. Assange in the police cells. He wants to thank all of his supporters for their ongoing support, and he said, "I told you so."
That a reference to his long-held belief that the British would hand him over to the Americans.
Mr. Speaker, this goes to show that in the United Kingdom, no one is above the law.
I spoke with the High Commissioner, and my office was briefed by officials from the High Commission last night. He will, as the Prime Minister has said, receive appropriate consular support as an Australian citizen in these circumstances would.
He'll face an extradition hearing next month. Julian Assange spent years trying to avoid this day. His fate no longer in his hands, and there may be far worse days to come. Philip Williams, ABC News, London.
A once secret report has revealed high-ranking Victorian police approved the use of Lawyer X as an informer, considering her a glittering prize, despite concerns she had psychological issues. Thousands of documents released by the courts have detailed the risky behaviour of gangland lawyer Nicola Gobbo as she informed on her underworld clients. Sarah Farnsworth reports.
In the midst of the gangland war, Nicola Gobbo's clients included crime figureheads Carl Williams and Tony Mockbell. But it was when she represented one of their rivals in court she started to fear for her life. How she was caught between feuding drug factions was detailed in never-before-seen court documents revealing details of her high-risk life. Miss Gobbo says she was threatened by alleged hitman Benji Venyman in 2003. He told her, "Tony's not happy with you. Carl is not happy with you. You're a dog." 2 years later, the gangland lawyer decided to turn on Tony Mockbell and became a police informer for the third time. A 2014 inquiry by Victoria's corruption watchdog found Victoria Command knew and sanctioned her use. That's despite then Assistant Commissioner Simon Overland forming the view that Ms Gobbo had personality and attachment disorders and was pathologically incapable of acting in her own best interests. But they continued to use her and never sought legal advice, believing her ethical obligations were her own concern. Then Deputy Commissioner Graham Ashton told the IBAC inquiry police were under significant pressure to end Melbourne's bloody gangland war. She was viewed as a glittering prize that could solve a bunch of murders or prevent others. And it was a prize that could have distracted police from making sure it was all above board. Speaking to her handlers, Nicola Gobbo did raise her concerns about taking her clients' money and then snitching on them to police, describing it as an ethical dilemma. But within a year, one handler believed she was also seeking out corrupt activities for them. Years later, the legal advice to police was the use of Nicola Gobbo was ethically repugnant. By then, it was too late. Sarah Farnsworth, ABC News, Melbourne.
Wallabies star Israel Folau plans to fight Rugby Australia's plans to sack him over his inflammatory